2K is going crazy on the auction house, canceling auctions left and right. Literally nothing is going through, man. Let's get into it. But first, if y'all don't mind, I'm gonna get into some of these YouTube comments because y'all been showing so much love on these videos. Only right that I show love back to y'all. First, my boy DJ says, for me, the best 2K Twitter era wasn't really on Twitter, but a forum site called 2k Gamer. I could be wrong, but I truly believe that forum birthed a lot of 2K stuff we know today. Everybody was in there. That's where I first heard of Carlo. The guys that created 2KDB, I believe, were on 2K Gamer. At that time, 2K Gamer was 2K Twitter, but I think people didn't like the changes and tried to create their own thing in 2K Universe, and that didn't pan out. Please mention this in your next video. I've always been curious about what happened to a lot of those OGs from the 2K Gamer. So, if you're watching this and you were in those 2K forums, the 2K Gamer forums, be sure to comment down below because my boy DJ is looking for y'all. Next, Mr. Clutch says, not a fan of random in general. I'd prefer a specific card, then I could decide if the grind is worth it. Outside of Sunday cards, we haven't had much of that all year through this week. So yeah, that's actually a valid point. That's a valid argument to why you might not like this grind. Not just because it's an Opal card, but it's because you don't know what the Opal card is going to be. I get that. And 2K has been doing a bad job of giving us a specific card. Outside the Sunday grinds, we really it's been hidden gems and random packs and stuff like that. So that's an argument I could actually see, and I can get behind that argument. As always, if you want a chance to get featured in tomorrow's video, be sure to leave a comment down below. It could be anything. It could be a question for me, a comment about something we talk about today, or a conversation starter in general. Be sure to leave that down below. All right, let's get in the community corner. We tackle some of the hot topics around Twitter and give our opinions on them. And the hottest topic going around right now is 2K's continuing to cancel auctions. My boy Habaki, for example, posted a Kalel Ware. I think that's how you pronounce it, Kalel Ware. He badged it out with Hall of Fame badges, was making anywhere from 250 to 300K on it, and it kept getting canceled. When he reached out to 2K support, they literally just shrugged. They said, I don't know. And eventually it sold, and he sent them proof that it sold, and he asked, why did this sell, but these ones didn't? And they shrugged. They said, I don't know. My boy HTB says, I'm on my hands and knees begging we get rid of the pending auction house next year. Worst quality of life addition to the mode. Having to sit here waiting 30 minutes after I buy and sell is just so insane to me. And I get it. If it was actually doing what it was meant to do, I'd be 100% for it, but it's not. You know, it's not doing what it's meant to do. 2K, get rid of it and just ban people buying MT. You caught them before and you can catch them again. This escrow thing we don't need. Next, my boy Triple J, this tweet is not 2K related, but it gave me a 2K idea. He says, Throwback Thursday, one of my favorite live performances, MTV Spring Break, Lupe Fiasco. So it made me think, whatever happened to Throwback Thursday cards? They used to give them to us. Why not? Why not just do a Throwback Thursday card, add it in the packs? It's just, I don't know. It's just an easy way to give us content that revolves around the NBA. Give us some of our favorite performances of all time that happened on that Thursday. Lethal 2K says there's no reason why there shouldn't be a reward between 15 and 60 showdown wins. Mode feels so unrewarding. Just bring back Unlimited from last year. It was perfect. I agree, because one thing I've realized about these game modes is there's a lot of long-term goals, and they have been giving us some short-term goals like certain agendas and stuff, but there's really no in-between at all. And that's what makes the modes pretty boring. If you're not playing, you know, just whatever mode you like. If you're trying to grind showdown, once you get 15 wins, that's a long grind. The 16 from 60 all the way to 120, and then 120 all the way to 200. It's kind of like there's huge gaps there. There needs to be something. Lethal also went to war with people on Twitter. DBG said the gambling content, well, this tweet from DBG was actually from a year ago. He said the gambling content is so bad we've ignored the fact that it costs 120K to buy the cheapest player in the player market now, so budget cards no longer exist. And Lethal says, just a reminder that this time last year the new cheapest cards available were 120K in the player market. Opals and above were packs only. How did we play that through that? Prime says 100 overall Shaq will be $50 in the player market. Now he's 6 million MT. Lethal says opals, dark matters and above weren't even in the player market. Harambe says and one of those Dark Matters would have been guaranteed for $100 and not $2 million each. Lethal said at this point, it was $100 for an Opal lock-in. New Opals now are buy nows. So guys, I think some people really live and die by this player market stuff. I don't get it, man. It was pretty solid at the beginning, and even then I preferred the auction house at the beginning of the year, but I could see the argument for why you preferred it at the beginning of the year. But once it became, you know, once it became special inserts, the player market was dead. When people are talking about, you know, you get Shaq for $50 last year, stuff like that, you are thinking at the end of the game. When we were at this point last year, so we had the 100 overall Shaq and then the Opal Kobe. Remember how much Troy spent trying to pull those cards? The Opals were not in the player market, guys. Right now we got Opals at our buy now prices. Most Opals are under 100K. Pink Diamonds last year were crazy expensive. You had to lock them in for a random Opal. Dark Matters, did Dark Matters ever touch the player market? I think they did eventually, like when GOAT cards came out. But there were never 100 overall players in the player market. The best you could do was lock in a whole collection of Dark Matters for a random 100 overall. GOAT cards never touched the player market. Invincibles never touched the player market. The best card that ever touched the player market were Dark Matter. And that was late in the year. So just get out of here with that nonsense, man. We got an update on the account sharing bans. Somebody posted this directly from the terms of service. Purchasing, selling, or transferring NBA 2K accounts to or from another player, including transferring accounts for the purpose of engaging in grinding services affecting account progression. So it seems as if using accounts for card reviews is okay, because you're not purchasing, you're not selling, and I guess you could say you're technically transferring. I don't think that word transferring in this context doesn't seem like, you know, logging into your friend's account. So I don't want to be the one to say it, but I think we're good to do player card reviews. All right, let's get into the question of the day. DVG tweeted, what was the worst thing that 2K has done as a company in your opinion? Mine is a toss-up between forced gambling and trying to ban everyone from a $1 million Play Now tournament, and 2K24 because they were banned in a different game mode the entire year prior. For me, the worst thing 2K has done was definitely the 250K bans, because I will say this, 2K23, from what I understand, was where the downfall of Myteam started. I didn't really play 2K22, 2K21, but people talk about those years a lot better than they do 2K23. 2K23, the content kind of started to slow down, which people dealt with for the most part, but the real deal breaker was when the MT bans came out. The majority of people like myself were willing to deal with the MT ban. I told myself, you know what? I think it was a 10-day ban or something like that. I said, I did the crime, I'm gonna do the time. But then when they banned the 250K players from qualifying in that tournament, I think that really killed the morale of the game. And that made people go into the 2K24 more so on the defensive as opposed to looking to enjoy the game. So that's my opinion on what's the worst thing they've done. Let me know what yours is down below. What's the worst thing 2K has done? I got a couple from Twitter right here. Seth Constantine says, I'd say making everyone ineligible for the ongoing lawsuit if you agree to the TOS. So, I mean, yeah, I guess you can't really argue that. I don't necessarily disagree with the TOS in general, because most games do have TOS. It was just pretty weird for it to come up in the middle of the year, and then we found out it was because of a lawsuit. I don't remember exactly what the lawsuit was, but I think it was some BS. So, yeah, I don't know. That was a pretty weird one. Next, I'm not going to read that username. You know, ball up top. Jack and My Cactus says, had to be special inserts last year, affected the whole community for the worst. Yep, once those 100 overall cards came out and you couldn't pull those or the opals, or you can only get them in packs, that was the failure of last year's game mode. They tried to cover it with the weekly grinds, but they couldn't, man. They could not. Let me know your answer down below on what was the worst thing 2K's done. All right, let's get into the moments of the day, where I like to pick some moments that happened on today's date in different years of NBA history, so I give y'all some ball knowledge. Pause. We got two moments here today. The first one happened in 1985. Dan Issel scored 27 points, putting him in 4th place in the all-time scoring list behind Kareem, Wilt Chamberlain, and Dr. J. I know that was in 1985, but still, 4th place, and nobody ever talks about Dan Issel. I think maybe his name needs to be brought up a little bit more. 2018, Chris Paul steals the ball, putting him in the list with just Gary Payton, John Stockton, and Jason Kidd as the only players with 8,000 assists and 2,000 steals. Even though Chris Paul gets credit, I still don't think he gets enough credit for what he's done and how good he was. People remember kind of older Chris Paul, but Chris Paul in his prime was a beast, bro. Shouts out to Chris Paul. I appreciate y'all rocking all the way through with the video, man. Y'all been showing all kinds of support on the channel. We're growing more and more every day. I appreciate the love, man. As always, y'all be safe. Peace.